The Curious Case of Finn and Flora. Finn and Flora were twins. Finn loved to hop. Flora loved to skip. One sunny day, they played in their backyard. "Let's explore the woods," shouted Finn. Flora giggled. "Adventure awaits." The woods were behind their house. They were big and green and a little bit scary. But Finn and Flora were brave. They held hands and walked into the woods. The woods were filled with the sound of the wind. Whoosh! Went the wind. Whee! Sang the birds. The leaves on the trees were changing color. Red, yellow, and orange leaves danced in the breeze. "This way!" called Finn, pointing to a narrow path. They followed the path deeper and deeper into the woods. Suddenly, they saw a most peculiar tree. This tree was unlike any other. It was tall and thin with needles instead of leaves. But that's not all. Each needle on the tree had something different. There were buttons, beads, and even tiny little toys. "Wow!" gasped Flora. "Look at all the treasures!" Finn reached out and touched a shiny red button. As soon as he did, the tree began to shake and shimmer. A voice whispered, "Make a wish, little ones." The lost button. Finn and Flora were amazed. A talking tree? They had never seen anything like it before. The forest was full of surprises, but this was the most incredible one yet. This was too good to be true. They had heard stories about magical trees, but to see one in real life was beyond their wildest dreams. Finn thought about his wish. He had so many things he wanted, but he knew exactly what he needed the most. He had lost a button from his favorite shirt that morning. It was a special button given to him by his grandmother, and he felt incomplete without it. He wished for the button to be found. Closing his eyes tightly, he hoped with all his heart that the magical tree could help him. As soon as he wished, a bluebird flew down from the tree. Its feathers shimmered in the sunlight, making it look like a creature from a fairy tale. It dropped something small and shiny into Finn's hand. He could hardly believe what was happening. It was his lost button, the very one he had been missing all day. Finn couldn't believe his eyes. He felt a rush of joy and gratitude towards the magical tree and the bluebird. The needle tree had granted his wish. Finn and Flora knew they would never forget this magical day in the forest. A wish come true. Now it was Flora's turn to make a wish. She had been waiting for this moment for what felt like forever. Flora had always wanted a little doll with a blue dress. She had seen it in her dreams many times, and it was the only thing she ever wished for. She closed her eyes and wished for the doll with all her might. She whispered her wish softly, hoping the magical tree would hear her. The tree shimmered and sparkled even brighter. It was as if the tree itself was excited to grant Flora's wish. When she opened her eyes, there it was. Flora could hardly believe her eyes. A beautiful little doll with a blue dress, sitting right at the foot of the tree. It was exactly as she had imagined it. Flora squealed with delight and hugged her new doll tightly. She felt a warmth in her heart, knowing her wish had come true. The needle tree had worked its magic again. Flora knew she would always remember this magical moment. The magic of kindness. Finn and Flora learned a valuable lesson that day. They had always heard stories about the enchanted forest, but experiencing it firsthand was something entirely different. The needle tree wasn't just magical, it was kind. It stood tall and majestic, with branches that seemed to whisper secrets of the forest. It granted wishes to those who were kind and deserving. The tree's magic was not just in its ability to grant wishes, but in its ability to recognize the goodness in people's hearts. From that day forward, Finn and Flora made sure to be kind to everyone they met. They realized that small acts of kindness could make a big difference in the world. They learned that the true magic wasn't in wishing on trees, but in the kindness they showed to others. Whether it was helping a friend, sharing a toy, or simply offering a smile, every act of kindness had its own magic. And that, they realized, was the most magical thing of all. The joy and warmth that came from being kind to others was a magic that could be felt by everyone, everywhere.